Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines, and I have made some changes. So, what do we got going on? One, I removed the butt. There is no more butt. There were some people who didn't like it, some people loved it, but as I was going through and just making some small changes while, I was playing for myself, I just decided we didn't really need it. I wanted to have just more of a parkland. So this key keeps growing and expanding, but that is okay. So we have Astor Park now, which I think looks beautiful. And if we look at the zoning of Astor Park, let me actually correct some of this. It's not as big as it should be. This should come to here. And then let's try to remove it from the key. All right, so there we go. We've got Astor Park now. It's a bit more cleaned up. So it encompasses this entire area as well as this portion of the key walled section. Then if we go into our district mode, you'll notice I've kind of created some districts for this area. So they're all named after, well, two of them are named after flowers. So we have Dahlia, which is this area here, and we have Foxglove, which is this area over here, as well as Astor Park, which is named after a flower as well, and so is Broome Square. Broome Square is the same area as Waffle County University, but we might change that later on and maybe increase the size of this a bit, just so that we can include some other things besides the university in Broome Square. We have Uptown. And the reason it's called Uptown is because if we're assuming this city, which it's not, but if we assume the city is like perfectly positioned north and south, we have West Cypress, East Cypress, and then this is a little bit above, so I figured we call it Uptown instead of downtown like we've done previously for, I think, Westfield. And then I have the Point, and the reason it's called the Point is because we've got this obvious point here. I don't know if we want to keep that name, let me know. I'm willing to change any of these. And then I've just earmarked this area to be Otterville. I've gotten lots of requests to name a area or a town Otterville, and I just kind of thought it would be nice to have the suburb like right next to the main heart of the city be Otterville. So it's not going to stay the shape, but it's here. And then I just did some cleanup. I removed the districts off of the areas of the highway where I didn't feel like it needed to have a district over it. Like over here, it makes sense to have things part of the district because we imagine this highway cut right through all of this. But over in this area, I don't know. I didn't think it was necessary. I also, backed by popular demand, I went in and I fixed my subway a little bit. Originally, the subway was cutting over this street here and came over into this block and then went underground. I had a request to fix that and make it go underground a bit quicker. So I raised all the land up in this section and brought it down underneath. And then I used some buildings like granite. Like this is very unrealistic because like if you look at this right now, it's a little crazy. But the reason that it looks so steep is because I actually used buildings in this path to force the area of land that was protruding down. So these buildings just disguise this. I mean, this is where we're suspending some of the realism here. It's a video game. It does not have to be perfect. And then for the underground portion, I smoothed out this curve here. So we've got a nice smooth curve leading into this subway station. And then, I need to fix this one. So actually, we're going to fix this right now together. Let's just go in here and let's go underground. Don't stick to the ground. Let me go underground. All right. I'm thinking for the spur, it's going to connect to this point here. So let's see what we can do. Like, what if I just came in here and we don't have anarchy turned on? Yeah, we just give it like one big sweeping curve. Beautiful. And then I fixed this area. I moved the station. So originally the station was right here on the corner, but I moved the station back here. So it is next to the parking lots. And it makes more sense because now we're sharing an area with the tram. You can easily walk into the aquatic center or you can walk over to the stadium without having to cross this main drag, which I think is really important. So now the subway beautifully curves its way through and I think looks really nice. Let's go ahead and also the pink line. Let's just look at these subways real fast. If we go in here, we've got Metro Line 1, which is going from the university area and is ending at the metro station or train station. So let's go ahead and call this I think we call this the Ortera Uptown Spur. And I think, do we have different? Oh, we do have different ones. That's so fun. But it's okay. We don't really see them. They're not above ground that often. Let's make this a nice blue. All right. So Uptown Spur. Let's grab this blue stop and bring it over here into Uptown. And then we are going to give it a stop here. Great. And a stop here. So it stops both times there. And I do think it can share this area as well. We can have 3 different stops happening here. There we go. So now we have the Uptown Spur, which is coming from Waffle County University and eventually will be coming from further away. And it comes straight on up and over into Uptown. And then we have, what is the other one called? West Cypress Line, which we might come up with a better name. But that comes from West Cypress through East Cypress all the way over to the stadium, stopping at every available stop. And then we have the WCU Stadium line, which is just a direct route from the university over to the stadiums. I didn't really do much else off camera, so I want to implement some of your guys' suggestions today. Let's go ahead and hit play. And I've also turned on the day-night cycle. We'll see if my game can handle it because I'm really pushing it. But I would like to include a metro, or not a metro, a tram stop up in this area somewhere, but I don't want to remove this bike lane because I think the bike lane isn't used very often. Not many people are around here anyway. There's somebody. So I don't want to ruin this bike lane. So what I'm thinking we'll do, someone suggested that I change this up actually a decent amount. So let's go ahead and just do this. We are going to move. Can I move this? No. I'm not able to relocate. So we're just going to get rid of this building. Sorry, building. You have to go. And I am going to just delete all of that. Let's go into here and grab just the tram road. Transportation. We want a tram only road, tram track. Beautiful. Upgrade this particular one to a tram track. And then we are going to take this and I'm going to wind it up into the hill here. Or should we just go straight on up? That just seems a little too steep for me. What does it look like if we were to go like this? Like, how steep is that? First of all, we've got the wrong thing on. Let's turn that off. Remove these trees that are in the way. I mean, it's pretty steep, but it's a tram. Like, it can handle it, right? It can do it. All right, so then we want to do a 2-lane road with tram tracks. Perfect. I don't want to... Oh, you know what? I didn't want to connect there. We want to connect our tram track to this line over here. So why don't we go ahead and grab this. We're going to bring it straight on up and over to here, which makes it a little bit smoother of a curve. And then let's go ahead and just curve right on into this. That's not terrible. It could be way worse. All right, now switching to a regular path, I'm going to just go ahead and upgrade. I think we're going to do a quick little square of this. It's going to come up, over, down. Should I come back around here? I would like it to touch this center area, but again, I don't want to mess up our bike lanes. Let's just do this. Let's turn on anarchy. Let's just get in here. Let's just throw this guy down. We don't want anything to disappear, so turn off collision. I know it sucks for you guys, but at the same time, it's for the greater good. So I'm not particularly concerned about whether or not you're happy about this. It's happening, with or without your permission. All right, so now we've got this new addition to the tram line. Let's go ahead and check out our line. We're just gonna give it a quick little movement so that we can reconnect everything back up. Now they're good to go. And then this tram line is actually gonna come up into here and stop in the downtown area. So if it comes on up, I would love for it to have a stop over here. Maybe on this block. So it's going to stop on this block. It services both this little nature marsh area we have, but also allows people to get into this neighborhood, as well as there's a pathway here. So if they wanted to walk over to the bus stop, which is really bustling, they can do that. Don't worry, one day we will get back to some buses. Then we will do an additional stop, I think, over here. It's close to all of this downtown stuff, as well as the high school. And then if you wanted to get into the main downtown street, you could just go right across over and in, which is great. And then should it stop down here? I'm going to vote no, because the only things down here is very light residential, and there's not a need for it to hit every single portion of this. So I think that's pretty good. And it's a tram only road, which means people will turn down this way. It allows pedestrians to use it. Oh, that is fantastic. Because that was another thing people had mentioned, is we needed better connections between these two areas. Speaking of which, let's go in over here. Just grab this generic pathway. And let's just do a little spiral kind of coming its way down this hill. And we'll come right on in here, turn off anarchy. Beautiful. All right, and our tram line is moving. So that all looks pretty good. Let's just do one quick check on the slope of this. I'm afraid, but I'm also very curious. That's 10. I'm afraid to do this because the one downside to this multi-tool is that you can't just like easily undo something. Let's see how slow it goes up this hill. Does it struggle? I think the reason I'm not concerned is because if I look from here to here, we're at 14%. No, we're keeping it. I think it looks nice. That's perfect. So we've got all of that built out. That looks wonderful. I did have someone else make a comment that we should really think about putting down one of these. What is this called? A parking lot? Parking complex? Parking garage. There's the word. Magic word that we wanted. We should put a parking garage back here because that would make a lot more sense for this area, which I can't say you're wrong. I think you're very much right. So let's put 2 parking garages back here. And now it's going to make a weird cliff. Oh, and I forgot to turn off my, what's it called? But let's go ahead and try to, let's use a tree brush and let's just erase them this way. So I think it does make more sense to have some kind of parking garage back this way. Let's see what we can do about smoothing all of this out. Because the one concern I have is it's going to be too steep. But then again, nothing else is going over this way. It's just a little bit, it's a little bit too much. All right, let's move both of these. Turn on snapping. Let's just scoot them over one. Then they also connect up with the stadium. I can't imagine the football would go through and hit anything there, so I think that's okay. Does this allow us to give a better smoothing job? No. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. Get rid of both. I think we take this road, we send it forward 10 units, and then let's go ahead and grab this parking garage again. Let's place it facing the other direction, because then that lets me come in here. I think we'll go 10 units with this. And then we're going to just use move it to curve this kind of around the back. Yeah, which gives a better slope. Oh my God, and this tree is just like sitting in the perfect little spot. I love that. And then I think at least in this area, there is no entrance to the parking garage from this side. So let's go ahead and in here. Let's grab our 8x8 block, brush size 1, strength 0. Great. So we're gonna put those 3 there, and then let's throw a nice tree down. We're not gonna use my regular tree that I keep using, the same one I use literally all the time. Instead, I think let's click on the bigs and see what we get in here. What about leafy full? This is exactly what I want. So now we've got 3 trees over here. Let's also click on this and make sure this is the correct height. There we go. Beautiful. In addition to this, I think we do need some kind of tree cover here. All right, so it's a little bit of a nicer drive now. As you're driving down, back here's the parking lot. And there you go. Now I am noticing, see, we're just gonna fix a bunch of small stuff. Like, I don't really have a plan. I just knew that I wanted to sit down and play some cities, and so that's what we're doing. I do also think that I would like a fence over here. I think I want to use the amusement park fence, something a little bit different than the other ones we've been using for this area. But I think that it's going to come along the edge of the stadium. And then I do think it will curve all the way around this parking garage. I think that looks much nicer. I like the addition of that back here. We have 2 of them now, which I think is okay. There should be tons of people coming to these places, so I'm okay with that. I would like to do a little bit of work down in this area. So one thing I would like to build today, I've had a few requests to make sure we place the aquarium, which is in here somewhere. Oh, what is that? A Family Dollar. I like that it's a monument. It's a frickin' Family Dollar. We don't have the aquarium. 5,000 children in elementary schools. All right, well, the aquarium we will eventually place down here, but we just don't have it yet. But we could think about placing a few bigger buildings. I also love this building. This is the high interest tower. How much does this cost? This is 1,600 upkeep. Oh, 125,000. I think that's absolutely reasonable. Let's go ahead and think about putting this in one of these spaces because it almost perfectly fills up the block. And I think the point is going to be like the point and Foxglove might be the 2 fancy parts down here. Let's place this. It nearly fits perfectly in these side blocks, and I have a feeling that that's exactly the fit we're going to want here. So I think this is going to go right here in the center. That is absolutely beautiful. Holy cow. And for these sides, I think we just fill them in with concrete. I was going to do something different here, but I think concrete will do just fine. And because these sides are actually 1 unit wide, I know we don't actually have a taxi depot yet, but I think we can put a small taxi thing over here. So let's turn off anarchy and figure out a place to place our taxi depot. Are there additional places back here that we could use? I mean, we've got some parking lots. They don't often get used. So I think we remove these parking lots on the side. Let's erase all this concrete. This is the benefit of placing down parking lots, because it makes it easy for me to come in and be like, let's redevelop this because there's a new need in town. And it fits frickin' perfectly. All right, taxi service is going right here. All right, so we've added the depot over there. I think we place one of these over this way. It's right by the main road, and it's right next to the subway station. So it's really great connectivity over there. So there's the first building in our downtown, which I love that. I wasn't going to build the downtown all the way today, so we're going to do a little bit. But I am glad we have that. What are some other tall... There's the land or the sea and skyscraper, but it is so small. Like, that is not a skyscraper. Yes, we do have these guys. I don't use these often. Okay, high-rise office building. These buildings, what I like about them is they function more as monuments and not actually as high-rise offices. So let's place... Let me just check the size of this one. Both of these are quite massive. I'm trying to just see, what can we do without destroying any roads? I think that I would like this building right here on the edge. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like one of those old school high-rise buildings that would have been there for ages. Everybody knows this building. Everybody loves it. Let's go ahead and place a path behind here. We're going to use the tree-lined path. We're going to use the grid, go from here. We're going to go straight on over. Ooh, angle's not going to matter here. turn all of it off. We're going to come straight across from here to here. Beautiful. And let's use move it just to really connect these two up to each other. All right. I think for this area, let's go ahead and just use the concrete 4x4 square that we have. Fill this whole section in. What's great is that this is going to bring more people to this area. 112 passengers last week. That's amazing. All right, so we've got 2 buildings going on. This is good. This is good. We also have, what was the cost of that, by the way? 110? Oh, we're fine. All right, we have the office skyscraper, which is pretty large, but also at the same time, it's a similar size to the others. Because it does kind of look like you can go through that. Let's place this right here on this corner facing this way. Oh, wow. That is a beautiful building. What does it look like here? Shops and restaurants. Okay, we can pretend. I am totally comfortable pretending that this is an entrance exit. Then in some of these other areas, so like let's go ahead and click on, I think this is all part of, this is part of the point. This is technically part of Uptown. So I'm thinking we might actually take Uptown, or we might take the point and expand the point. Let's include Walnut Street. Oh, that's why I forgot to show you guys. I also changed some of the names of the roads. And let's take the point from Walnut Street over to D Street. There we go. So now the point's a bit larger. It makes Uptown a bit smaller. It gives this weird little area that really could be Dahlia, but I'm going to keep it for now. So to couple with the fact that over here we have our numbered streets, and we started them with, let's go to the road view. I think it has like a, what is the symbol for this? Is it this? No, that's escape routes. Road maintenance. Here we go. Beautiful. Adjust roads. Okay, so this first road here, this is Finch Street. But then if we click on this first road, this is first. So first street comes from West Cypress and goes down through Dahlia. Then we obviously have, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th Avenue. There is no 6th, but 6th will happen up here once we start expanding that direction. And then 7th. And then what I imagine is that like some of these will turn this way. And as they turn this way, then we'll keep going. So it'll get interesting. Over here, because we started with First Street here, I didn't have any way to number this direction. So what I ended up doing instead was doing letters. So we have A Street, we have B Street, we have C Street, D Street cuts all the way through. So it comes down from Ortera all the way up into the Stadium District. Then we have Avenue E, then we have F Street and G Street. And I imagine that these streets will continue over here in Otterville. So we'll have H, I, J, K, all the way to Z. Along the front end here, we have River Run Drive, which comes all the way down from the point of Astor Park all the way up until this area in Belmont. Hence why it's called River Run Drive, because it's following the river. And then these smaller roads in the middle are just random names. I didn't do anything with those. But I did go through and name these streets that are going east to west after trees. So Chestnut, Pine, we have, I think this is Walnut. Yep, Spruce. And then, what is this one? Oh, this is Walnut Boulevard and Walnut Street. Let's change Walnut Boulevard. Let's change this to Willow Avenue. So we've got Willow Avenue that cuts right on through. Again, some of these are smaller than others, but now we've got a naming convention for this area as well as this area. They don't conflict, so I think we're in a good spot. All right, so I'm loving how this is turning out so far. And if I'm looking down our main viewpoint, so like if I'm here and I look down, already obsessed with this. If I look down from our main Avenue E, so far, so good. You can't see the other building behind it, but you're not going to be able to see everything from every angle. Let's make sure that all of these roads here, I guess we won a game, which is great. All these roads here have the correct trees on them. And actually, let me go over here. Let's look at, yes, okay, hold on. Look at all of these people. There's so many of them. Holy cow. All right, get me underground. I must see how many people are coming over here. Here's our subway, 102, 150. It dropped off some people, which is great. This one has 1. How many does this pick up because it's a direct route? No one boarded directly over to the university, which kind of sucks. The green route really is in need of some additional people. Let that hit the end there. West Cypress line. You have 2 trams or two, no. You're going to have 5. Give us 5. Okay, that is really a lot of vehicles, a lot of vehicle noises. That's going to have 5. Then let's go back to lines overview. Let's look at our shuttle. That only has 2. I'm fine with that. And then the spur doesn't go super far, but I could see the spur having 3 vehicles. Okay. Great. Told you we're a little all over the place today. So we're just going to keep kind of going with that. And then we also have this other one, which is another high-rise office. It's similar in style to that building. And it could fit right next to this. I like the curve of that. I like the curve of that a lot. And then right here in the back, because land is valuable, what I would like to do, and the reason I changed this district a little bit, is I would like to go into here, into the point, and let's give this the high-tech theme. I know we don't have a massive demand right now for industrial. However, I think we could really make this whole section look awesome. Let's hold Control, or excuse me, hold Alt. If you hold Alt and you click on something, you can determine the sides that keep zoning. So now I've made it so that this back side doesn't have zoning, but this side keeps the zoning on both sides. Let's go ahead and add in a tiny office square here and let that fill in with hopefully a large IT cluster style building. Over in this area, I would not mind doing a little bit of zoning here and there. So I think for this back area here, I'm not as concerned about parks or anything, just because we've got some a major park right down this way with Astor. It's called Astor Park? Yeah, with Astor Park. So let's go ahead and give this area a bit of finesse with our zoning. Let's turn off zoning here. And let's turn off zoning here. That gives me basically a perfect square to throw down some commercial, which we do have demand for. And then I'm thinking over here in Uptown, if I go to my themes, let's enable theme management for this district. And if we do Manhattan, low-rise brick or city brick, let's do Manhattan and Brooklyn. Let's turn off Waffle County for this particular district. And let's go ahead and just try to address some of this demand for residential. I would like to turn off zoning on Pine Street, on this section of Walnut Street, and on this section of Spruce Street. This is predominantly where our commercial or our residential areas will be. And I would like to, we're not going to be able to put any around here, this particular spot, because this is a subway station. What does the noise pollution look like? Absolutely fine. Like, not a problem. Let's fill in this area here. Let's start back this way. Let's just go in and let's just throw down like 3 large blocks of zoning. And we're going to leave that alone for now. This is beautiful. Operating normally. They filled in quite nicely back there. These could be much larger, but I think, let's see if I just force upgrade this. What does that look like? That looks like trash. You're telling me that is high density. These are absolutely not happening. I want to see like a tall building. We're gonna leave it alone. It's gonna do its thing. Okay, so Brooklyn area is filling in. This is exactly what we want to see, these types of houses over here. Yes, yes. Now, we filled in these 3, but I do think that in this area, the sections between C and D Street I want to do some individual placements. We have all of these guys here, which are great. We have this condo building, which is fun. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, here's what I was thinking of, the modern low-rise corner. But let's actually, while we're sitting here and just messing around, let's just do some placements of our own. I do like this building. I think that looks very nice. And I like that we can begin to get some of the height going this direction. Begin to help feed into that. This is a little small. I wish that building was a bit bigger. All right, let's do a row of these, because this can fit perfectly into the corner. And then we have, I think, middles. This is a corner, corner. This is straight, 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 straight. Okay, great. So we can use these guys to give this whole block a similar look. Let's place another one of these. And then I think we have a 3. No, these are all 2 wide. All right, then this will go here. That's fine. We won't do anything on that backside. Okay. These are still filling in. We've kind of tanked the demand for residential at the moment, which is not a problem. We're going to keep letting that go. I do think we want to think about services over here. Is all this watered? Perfect. All this is watered up. Let's actually connect those two so we have a bit more connections here. Let's go and look at, so trash, we're just fine. We have a little trash center over there. What is this? This is our post office. We do need a post office. Yeah, this area is lacking post office. Let's place a post office. I'm going to place it and then just move it myself because I want it to go this direction. Then I don't need fishing industry. I don't need any of this. All right, in here, we're going to definitely want some kind of medical facility. This will help kind of break up some of the noise pollution. I wouldn't mind giving it into like one of these squares if we could get it to fit perfectly. I don't know if we can. And we also have this other hospital, the general hospital, which this would fit a little bit better in one of these squares. But again, not perfectly. I think we want to do one of these larger guys in here. I'm going to place this one along D Street on the corner of D and Walnut. We'll place a large hospital. So these modern homes are right by the fancy hospital. And then I think that this would want to have some type of parking garage in this area to service the hospital. Problem is, these parking garages are massive. All right, I'm going to place it here, and then we're going to use Move It to rotate it and just shimmy it into this center section. That looks pretty good. You can get in from at least that side. This side needs a little bit of attention. Let's just place down 3 of those and concrete pieces, and then let's also place a path behind here. It just feels like that spot that could use a path. So we'll use this guy, we'll move it up just a bit, and then we'll better align these 2 edges. Okay, great. Now let's also think about death care, because I was also seeing a number of people dying throughout really everywhere. So we need to think about death care a little bit more. I think just doing some crematoriums is fine. Oh, you know, we could also do one of these elder care places. This is quite fun. This could go right down in here somewhere, maybe around the corner. So we've got a little bit of death care here, or health care. And then for it doesn't work for death care. All right, that's fine. We will tuck 2 incineration plants right back here next to each other. And actually remove that one and then place the second one. So they're going to sit right there next to each other in the back, kind of tucked away. And I do think we're going to want to have an additional death care facility over here somewhere. And so for this, I'm actually going to hide it by tucking it into one of these skyscrapers. So it's there, we just don't have to see it all the time. All right, that looks great. We now should also do fire coverage. Let's just use one of these guys. Fire station, does it have fire engine capacity 2? Fire engine capacity 2. What are these with engine capacity? 25. Holy cow. All right, over here, we'll place one right there, right in the middle. Beautiful. But it doesn't have lots of fire coverage, so we're going to need a bigger one. So let's go ahead and use this guy here. We'll place this on the back side of this building, or maybe we even come over a little bit. Place this here with a 3 space in between. And for that, we fill in with a parking lot. That one's too big. Where's my regular 3 one? 4? There we go, 4. Let's do this one here. And we'll just scooch this over a little bit. The other direction, actually, because we're going to place the second one. Yes. With the little advertisements, that's great. I think this area could also benefit from, let's just use a basic path. Base game, nothing too exciting. But we're going to place this kind of all the way along and behind the back. Kind of close all that in. And then right here, let's grab our favorite tree. 3 trees here and 3 trees here. Looks great. That's perfect. Let's do police service now. Let's use one of these two. That has 30 patrol cars. This has 25. I think this one looks nicer than this one. Yeah, that one's too small. So let's use this guy, and we will place this. They seem to have decent coverage. We have a station here, and we have 3 over here. We'll place this kind of in the heart of the downtown. Although, it would need to be on this side street. And then we can kind of wiggle it in its spot. Because I think, yeah, it's a corner piece for sure. Okay, great. So now we've got a police station downtown. I do think this area here needs to have a tall building. And instead of waiting till we find one, let's go over here and let's just look at high density. You know what? We had some really cool high density offices I've been waiting to use. Are it these ones? Wow, these actually look terribly small compared to some of the other buildings I have. These guys here, what are these? I like these a lot. Well, we're going to place some of these on our own. Hold on, but let's scroll through here. These are all custom. These are all like the same size. I want like a really tall building. We've already placed that. Oh, we do have this one, the One Chase Plaza. How much does this cost? 50,000. This the same? Oh, no, this is a different height. And it's thin. I like that it's quite thin. What if we came in this direction? I don't think this spacing is going to work. Though it just might. Or it could go here in this corner area. Like, what does that look like? I mean, that is great. I need something over this side just to kind of add a little bit of, well, something extra. You know what, though? This is screaming for a path. Not that. It's screaming for a path. Let's grab a pathway and throw a pathway straight across here. It connects this stop to this intersection, which is awesome. Let's just keep going. What else we have in here? All these ploppable buildings. When you work with these large buildings, these small buildings really are like aggressively small. I do love this. The Majesty. How much does this cost us? 200,000, 1,600 weekly upkeep, which is okay. It fits into our blocks quite beautifully. And I think that if we had a building like this, we would want to have, ooh, it does fit right next to that one pretty nicely. We'd want to have some kind of park with it. Like if we had this building here, and then I think that maybe this particular block is like one of the parks in the heart of the city. And instead of zoning something, can I just use... I can't fit the big one, but I think we can do, yeah, we can do the small park. So we could do 2 of these right next to each other. And then maybe we use Move It to just kind of position them right in the center. There we go. So we got this little park in the middle, great connectivity throughout. I guess when I changed the trees on them, I changed it on all of them, but that's totally fine. Okay. We've got, our demand for residential is back up. How are we liking this area? I mean, I'm loving it. I think that looks fantastic. A little bit, there's a little bit too many houses that are exactly the same. I think that's something we can fix later on though. So let's go ahead and just fill in this particular block. And let's go ahead and fill in this block. We'll remove this. And because we've got this open spot here, we will do another pathway right across the back. All right, that's looking nice. And then I think I want to at least fill out a little bit more of this before we wrap up. So let's see what else we have in here. Transport tower has never really impressed me all that much. Do we have any like large factories or anything? I might need to go get some new high-rise buildings. I thought I had more installed, but I guess I do not. Let's just do custom. Let's see if we have any fun like custom buildings. We did have this one factory, which I think it was this guy here, that really like could hold some serious workers. So that's going to really tank that industry a little bit, but that's okay. Turn anarchy off. What if we made part of this area back here still an industrial strip? It's like this could go here, but this holds 100 workers, which is absolutely insane. Let's, I just want to fill in a few more blocks, but I'm not finding the right buildings for this. I don't want this building. This is the same building. Like this building has just, we've seen a lot of that building. I'm not a fan of that building. That building is entirely too small. Downtown hotel, that could be kind of fun. You know what? The downtown hotel could be positioned right next to, I mean, it fits perfectly next to our parking garage, as well as this pathway here. What are the vanilla buildings in here? Let's slow this down again. Let's go in here. Let's get these high-tech buildings and let's do some of this ourselves. Because we also have these guys. So I'm thinking if we look at it from, let's look at it from all angles. So if I'm looking from this angle, there's a space here that could be filled. If I'm looking at it from this angle, it's perfect. Like living over here in, what is this going to be called? Otterville? Yeah, living in Otterville, you're going to get an amazing view. If you're looking at it from the seaside, you still have that same opening here that we can work on correcting. But like, looking pretty decent. And if we're looking at it from this area of downtown, it already looks amazing. I think we know we need a building here. Should it go in the corner or should it go diagonal? But see, it doesn't seem to hold its own weight. That's the problem. It's just towered by these other ones. And actually, the angle I was concerned about, it doesn't actually fill. That's the point. So we'll need to think about what goes here on the point, because I don't think this is it. Let's go and place some of these. So I'm going to place this guy. Let's place it back this way. I think that's pretty decent. All these buildings are just so much smaller than I thought they were. I guess I just envisioned them to be way bigger until you start realizing how big some of the custom asset buildings can get. All right, these are all really tiny. This is not working. I mean, I do love those buildings though, so we could place that there. We're filling it out. It's getting there. It's gonna take some time to get exactly what we want in this area. But for now, and it's looking pretty good, because there wouldn't be tons of huge buildings, but I would like to see, I think, more than we have now. I'm gonna have to download some, though we do have these like fun flatter ones, but again, they're all pretty small, which is just a little strange. What if we, instead of these 3 buildings here, let's do custom. Let's scroll through this. I want to use these guys. Oh, we also have this building, which I think is really cool. Maybe this goes here. Let's unzone this. And instead, we will place, what is this one called? This is the Hotel Savoy. Oh, great. We have 2 hotels over here, which is awesome. And then I think for this section, I want to use some of these buildings that have like all 4 angles. So like we could put one here. It has an accompanying angle piece here. I don't think it has a twofer though. Yeah, these are much larger than that, so that's not going to work. It's going to need to be a larger block, like something like this. Or, all right, here, let's just grab these and move them. We do have this Hyundai dealership, which I think is so fun, and we're going to find a place for that soon. But people are moving in. Right now, Uptown, let's go click on our districts. Uptown is looking at 1,666 people. The Point has 878 available jobs. Foxglove has 124 available jobs, and Dahlia has 667. So we are increasing the population. What does our noise pollution look like for these areas? So this downtown hotel is quite loud. We're going to move the downtown hotel to this corner. Right there on the edge, facing this direction. There is a parking lot this way, and there's the entrance. And then there's parking on that side. So I think this will need some connection to this road just below it. We will do a pathway, standard pathway, going straight on through, and this will function as the driveway for the park. Ah, you know what? And then I think we grab fence, grab this guy. Let's build this one first. I actually think they use it for parking, which is amazing. All right, and then let's do a fountain. Give me this fountain right there in the middle. And then let's grab the dirt and just fill in this little square. Great. So we have a little fountain there next to the downtown hotel. Let's go back to noise pollution real quick because I just want to get a sense of where we are. This one's also quite loud. This is the Hotel Savoy. I wouldn't mind having both hotels next to each other. That could be a good idea. What if we grabbed this and just moved it over here? It keeps the noise all in one place. So now we've kind of condensed that a little bit. And over here we know is loud. This area is polluted, but that's okay. All right, that's pretty decent. This building is so loud. That's crazy. Traffic, we're at 80%. There's a little bit of a stress on these exits, but then again, we are moving in thousands of people, so that's all right. And it does look like there's a bit of stress on this road. I think I need to rework the trams a little bit. There might be too many going up and down. This is First Street. There are 10 trams going up and down First Street, and many of them are running empty. So I think we reduce this down to 5. Let's look at the 3rd Street trams. Let me go to the tram view because I have a feeling we've got a lot of overlap here. Yeah, as of right now, we've got a lot of overlap. We have a blue line that's doing a loop, and then we have an orange line that's doing also a loop as well. What in the world are you guys doing? So let's go ahead and hide this and hide this. And let's hide this as well. This is the 3rd Street tram. So the 3rd Street tram should primarily stay on 3rd Street. There should not be any reason it is getting all kinds of crazy down here. I think we need to delete this stop. Okay, 3rd Street tram is now going up and down 3rd Street. It's looping around here, which is fine. 1st Street tram, again, is going a crazy direction. I have this like tiny window of space to look through. If I just force it to go around like this, what does that do? So it comes down, it's got lots of back-to-back stops. These stops could be down this way as well and kind of share stops with the other tram stop. And then it cuts back up and loops around. Okay, much better. Let's turn all these back on. I think that this tram, 1st Street tram has 5. 3rd Street tram has 12. There is no reason for you to have 12. 5 is probably more than enough. I would say for the 7th Avenue tram, let's lower that to 10 for now. Again, we've got a number of trams. Some are full, but some are a decent amount of running empty. Let's maybe make this 8, and we'll see how that works. The problem right now is that the 7th Avenue tram has a lot of space that is just taken up by nothing. Like, there's nothing over here yet. There will be, but we're just not there just yet. But I think, guys, that is where we're going to leave this part here. We've got the beginnings of a downtown. I need to download some new buildings. I think that's something I need to go in and do. I don't like that building there, so we're gonna ditch that. I'm liking the height change here. This is great. This is great. But we need something here with some height. I also just need some more. I want like 1 or 2 or 3 more tall buildings. I'm glad that this guy's here, this Edison Motors. That fits really nicely and begins to fill that gap a little bit. But we do need some type of, I think like 1 or 2 more things just to really cap this area off. If you have any ideas of what could go here in the point, let me know. Technically, the point is a part of Astor Park, so all of this is going to be a part of the same parkland, but we can do whatever we want in this area. So if you have any great ideas, let me know. But for now, I think that's where we're going to leave this part here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this part, give it a thumbs up. Comment below what we should put here at the point, and if there's any changes we should make now that we've started this downtown area, and I will see you guys in the next one.